Among those who also conferred with state honors were 9 members of staff. Please allow me on your behalf to recognize one of them, Ms. Anne Njoroge, the immediate former director of Hansard and Audio Services, who is seated in the Hansard box. You may stand up, Anne, just below the speaker's gallery. I've singled out Ms. Njoroge because she's retiring from the parliamentary service with effect from last week, Friday, 7th February 2025, after 33 years of distinguished service to Parliament. Honorable members, Ms. Njoroge joined Parliament in 1991 during the 6th Parliament at the level of Hansard reporter in the National Assembly after 1 year stint as a teacher at Kwale High School, having graduated from Kenyatta University. She has therefore served 8 parliaments, being the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and the current 13th parliament. As a career Hansard reporter, she committed her life to the production of precise records of plenary proceedings and committee sessions in the form of Hansard reports. She steadily rose through the ranks of Hansard reporter, 1 assistant Hansard editor, senior assistant Hansard editor, and deputy Hansard editor, and ultimately ascending to the apex position of director Hansard and Audio Services. And you may take your seat. Her notable milestones include the restructuring of Hansard and Audio Services for better service delivery, the formulation of policies that have improved the processes of production of the Hansard reports, and the ongoing project of digitizing production of the Hansard. Indeed, in recognition of the stellar services rendered by Ms. Anne Njoroge to Parliament and the nation, the Parliamentary Honors Advisory Committee recommended her to His Excellency the President, who awarded her the Order of the Grand Warrior, OGW, in December 2023. Honorable members, her presence today in the Hansard box is of great importance, and we thank her for her 33 years of service and diligence in overseeing the production of the Hansard report of our proceedings as the Director, Hansard and Audio Services. On behalf of the National Assembly, the Parliamentary Service Commission, and indeed on my own behalf, I wish to thank Ms. Anne Njoroge, OGW, for the more than 3 decades of her dedication to the service of the Parliament of Kenya and indeed to the Republic of Kenya. We congratulate and wish you well in your next phase of life in retirement. Honorable members, before you go to what looks like some arguments you are going to have this afternoon, allow Anne to have a dignified send-off by allowing me to invite one of your colleagues who worked with Anne in the Hansard section before he branched off to go and become the Speaker of Baringo County Assembly, and later coming back as the member for Baringo North. Is it Tiati now? The Honorable Kamket. Give Honorable Kamket the mic.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, indeed, it is a...
Order, honorable members, this is a great day for Anne Njoroge. Give her the silence so that she can be honored by one of your colleagues who was her colleague.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, it is a great honor for me to get the opportunity to pay tribute to my former boss, Ms. Anne Njoroge. Mr. Speaker, I joined Parliament myself as a Hansard reporter in February 1997. And immediately, Mr. Speaker, I was thrown into the deep end of Hansard reporting. But I was lucky, Mr. Speaker, to have had a very dedicated, humble, and determined public officer who trained me, Ms. Njoroge, Mr. Speaker.
Order, Robert Mbui. Order, Robert. If Njoroge was your sister, your mother, or your cousin, or your wife, you would love to give her this day. Go on, Kamket.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Ms. Njoroge is a very dedicated officer, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, that box, Mr. Speaker, the Hansard box, is a box that is very familiar to me. I have sat in that box, Mr. Speaker, for a very long time, under the guidance of that very humble and hardworking public servant. And I'm very proud, Mr. Speaker, to be her product, to be the product of her guidance. And Mr. Speaker, that Hansard box, Mr. Speaker, has also produced not only me, but the Honorable Member for Matungu, the Honorable Peter Oscar Nabulindo, who was equally a Hansard reporter with me under the guidance and leadership of Ms. Njoroge. Mr. Speaker, when I joined Parliament in 1997, this House, there was no Parliamentary Service Commission at that time. I remember, Mr. Speaker, we used to go and line up at Mr. Kiliku, the accountant, for salary, Mr. Speaker. And at that time, Mr. Speaker, not even the members of Parliament had bank accounts. We used to line up at the finance office to receive salary. At that time, Mr. Speaker, we did not like the members of Parliament that much, because we would line up for more than 2 hours, and then about 10 or 15 members of Parliament come and overtake you as we all lined up for salary. But perhaps, Mr. Speaker, what's the most interesting about Hansard, because we are talking about Ms. Wamboi today, is that the Hansard, Mr. Speaker, is supposed to be an accurate report of the spoken word without interfering with the facts and the line of thought of the honorable member. It's a very specialized kind of reporting, Mr. Speaker, and I want to say that in the office that I worked with, in the Department of Hansard led by Ms. Wamboi and other officers, we were able, and I believe even as at now, we were able, Mr. Speaker, to capture the lines of thoughts of honorable members, organize their thoughts without losing the facts and realities of what they want to present. And the next day, Mr. Speaker, whenever a member wanted to have or wanted to go through what they contributed to in the House, they would be mesmerized at how well they spoke, at how well thought out their ideas were, only because, Mr. Speaker, the Hansard officers put in many hours of work to make everything right. So, Mr. Speaker, as my colleague, my former boss, Ms. Njoroge, retires, I want to wish her the very best in her life. And I want to say, Mr. Speaker, that that box there, the Hansard box, is a great box. And all officers of Parliament who have worked in other departments, those who have made it to members of Parliament, I want to say that everybody has a chance in life to be a leader of this country. And Ms. Wamboi Njoroge is a great person. She's a great woman, and I'll forever be grateful to her as a person whom she mentored into the great member of Parliament I believe I am today, Mr. Speaker. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. The second and last tribute to Ms. Njoroge is from Owen Bayer, who represents the constituency where she came from before she came here.
Okay. Honorable Speaker, I rise today to salute a distinguished public officer